Welcome to Leading the Follower with your host, Rebecca Benston. Good morning and welcome to Leading the Follower. It is Monday morning and I'm Rebecca Benston, your host. And I really don't even know that is a good way to describe myself. I'm not sure exactly what I'm hosting, but I'm here and I'm talking. And it's nice if you're here and you're listening. So, I want to talk a little bit today about a few things that have come up in my feed over the weekend. I had a very interesting bunch of things that I wanted to talk about, but one hit me this morning that kind of moved everything else out of the way. So hopefully those other topics will come back to me and I can get into that with you at some point. But before I do that, I want to remind you to stop in at the Higher Ground Books and Media shop and pick out a few really good books to read to give yourself a little inspiration and motivation this week. We have lots of great titles, including a brand new release by Joanne Coleman, and it is called One Day in May. It's all about her journey through lung cancer and how she dealt with that. It's written in journal format, and it's really extremely interesting to see how she got from one part of things to another, and how her healing progressed. So I would recommend that you stop over and get that. It is on paperback, or is available in paperback now, and for Kindle. So stop in and get a copy. You can also get any of our books on Amazon, and there are other places out there that carry our books. Some of ours are listed at Barnes and Noble. I won't say all, but for the most part, I think you can find our titles at the big name retailers online. So, um, and also, if you like audiobooks, we have lots of titles that are also available as audiobooks on Audible and through iTunes. All you have to do is go to one or the other and search Higher Ground Books and Media, and hopefully it will bring up our titles. Or if you see one in our shop that you like and you would like to see if it is available, just plug that into Amazon. And if there's an audiobook available, that usually comes up in the versions. It'll show you that there's, a Kindle version or a paperback. And if there's a paper, or if there's an audiobook, it'll be there as well. So you can see what's available in that way. I am an audiobook junkie. I listen to audiobooks every day. While I'm working, I listen to podcasts and audiobooks. So that is a very important thing for me to have our books on audio for people who maybe their vision's not so good, or maybe they just don't have time to sit down with a book. It's just always nice to know that you can listen to the story or listen to the resource and get that information while you're doing other things. I know if you're a multitasker like I am, that means a lot because you're able to get a whole lot of information at the same time that you're getting other things done. So moving into my topic today, I saw something on, I think it was Twitter. It was in my feed. Someone had posted that this group of teenagers had beat up a kid with Down syndrome, and that for whatever reason somebody was filming this, which is ridiculous. And they had said that these kids do this because they get likes on social media for you know filming this and beating up other kids and stuff. And I thought, if that's the case, if we know that that is what's happening, and we know that social media really takes puts lots of effort into removing posts that are supposedly offensive, and things when it comes to politics or things that they don't want to be out in front of everybody. Um, why can they not control that? Because if the thing that is driving all of this violence, or one of the things that's driving all the violence, I mean, it's not, of course, the only thing that's driving it, but if it is obvious that the reason these kids are doing this is for likes, then why would you allow that to be posted, first of all? And why would you allow all the likes without any repercussions? I mean, my thought is you can see who likes a post, especially on the back end of these things. I'm sure they can see who is liking these videos. So why are they not taking action and reporting that to, whoever? Because in my opinion, if you're liking a video where somebody is getting beat up, no matter what the thing is about, like if it's clearly an assault on someone, um, then you're kind of an accomplice in that, and I think that you should be held accountable for it. Now, I do know there are videos out there where a lot of people are on board with you know a, a father maybe beating up a guy who has attacked his daughter or something like that. And I think that's a bit different than these videos that get posted for likes, simply to be violent towards somebody. Especially if we know that that's a challenge that's going on out there, then we need not feed into that and perpetuate that and make it something that is attractive to these kids who are seeking that attention. Um, in my opinion, all of those videos should be taken down. Like even the ones where you know the fathers are beating up on the attackers and stuff like that. Yeah, I sympathize with that, because really that's where my mind goes too. If someone had hurt my kid, um, I would want to, beat them down as well. And I'm not a violent person at all. I usually can handle things through talking to someone. I've never really, well, there's been maybe one or two situations that I've been in where I actually had to use physical violence against somebody, but it was a self defense situation. So, and it's not something I like to do. I don't like how that feels to inflict pain, whether that's physical or emotional or psychological or whatever, on any other human being or anything. I'm just not that type of person. Um, so I think that for the sensationalism that it generates, I think that there's got to be a better way to convey that. Now, if you want to report that this happened and you want to write down, hey, such and such father did this to this guy because he attacked his daughter, well, that's great. But we don't need a visual representation of that any more than we need a visual representation of the attack on the guy's kid. It's just, it feeds into violence and, across the board. So I don't see that we need any more of that. We have enough of that. So, and I thought to myself, if they're policing everything else, why can't they police that? Why can't they police um, these TikTok challenges or whatever it is that causes people to think that it's okay to go out and, you know, beat up an old lady and take her groceries or whatever? Anything like that that is captured on film. I would say that anybody associated with it, whoever posted the video, whoever is liking the videos, all of those people should be sanctioned in some way. There should be a fine, or maybe their account should be cut off, or just something. There needs to be some sort of penalty for that. There needs to be some reason for people to not engage in it. Um, but for some reason, we're only policing things that really don't matter. I'm finding more and more that I'm amazed at the types of things that people are getting away with that are broadly known about, um, versus the things that people are being punished for that are clearly not correct. It's just everything seems so upside down. these days. And the Bible says that things will become quite that way toward end times. And although we can't know when that's going to be, it certainly is looking a lot like that. But not to veer off into that territory. I want to stick with my topic, at least for the most part. Um, I just don't understand how the social media companies know that these things are trends, or they are challenges that are being done, and they allow the videos to be posted and liked and unchecked. And unless someone reports those, they don't even take a second look at them. But I do believe that um, it's their duty to be a little bit proactive about that sort of thing, and kind of head that stuff off before it becomes a problem. I don't think that I don't think that they should be able to just shrug it off as, well, that's not really what we're here for, because they clearly want to get involved in other things that have absolutely nothing to do um, with their jurisdiction, basically. Um, like blocking certain people because of their religion or their political leanings, or whatever. That's not right. And if they're going to do that, then at least they could try to regulate a little bit of that other behavior. So I just, it wasn't the main topic that I was going to talk about today, but when I saw this, I was like, well, first of all, it's weird that you would post about it and then share the video as well, because you're, by sharing that, hey, so and so posted this video about beating up this kid, and I'm going to post it too, because you're giving them even more attention by doing that. So, um, another thing I would like to see is fewer people giving that sort of thing extra attention when it happens. You don't have to post the video. You can say, there was a video posted that showed this and this. You don't have to give that video more plays. You don't have to give it more airtime by introducing it into your post to boost your ratings, because I think that that's just as bad as the initial posting of that sort of thing. So I think our overall social media etiquette is a problem. Um, and I think that I know it's relatively new, and people are still kind of um, testing the waters in a lot of areas and trying to decide, you know, what we can get away with, and not really decide, but just trying to check and see what they can get away with online, and what how they can best use the internet to serve their purposes. And unfortunately, that's one of the pitfalls of freedom of speech. And I say this as a writer and as someone who definitely upholds the principles of freedom of speech, because I do believe that we should all have a right to say what's on our mind, even if it's clearly based in the wrong things. But there again, who am I to judge what's wrong? I'm just saying I should have the right to say that I think it is, um, and I should have the right to say what I think is right as well. And so um, it levels the playing field somehow to give everybody across the board the freedom to speak their mind and say, this is what I believe to be right, this is what I believe to be wrong. And I think when there's not interference in that, and when people can share what they need to share, um, then it becomes a much more um, balanced and open playing field. Um, in cases like this, though, I don't see this as a freedom of speech thing. I see this as um, a civil responsibility. I see eliminating these videos about being violent toward one another, um, and making likes an incentive for that sort of behavior. That is not the same as freedom of speech. That is not freedom of expression. Violence toward another person is not something that should be protected as a right that you have, because we all have the right to be safe. You know, to we have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what we're supposed to be able to do. Um, but I don't think people these days have the right idea of what that means. And I think that some people take the pursuit of happiness part and twist that around um, to justify behaviors that make them happy, even though they do harm to a lot of other people. And it's sad because then we have a group of people who say, well, the only way to fix that is to get rid of it for everybody. And that's not right either. I think we're, as adults, as people who think and problem solve, we should know better. And we should be able to sort out a video about a certain ideology um, that's just different from maybe what the popular belief is, or maybe what the people who run the platform believe. Um, that's just different, rather than something that's damaging across the board. Because these kids who are going out and beating people up for likes, I don't think they're checking to see what your political affiliation is or your religious beliefs are. And in some cases, they are. They're targeting people for just that. But if it's a random beatdown, I don't think that makes much difference. And if we can do this much policing over somebody's misuse of a pronoun, or um, something like that, or hate speech that is marked as hate speech simply because it offends somebody on one side. It's just the whole hate speech thing, in my opinion, needs to be done away with. And I mean, we know what counts as hate and what counts as loving speech. It's just ridiculous um, how convoluted all of that has become. So anyway, I said all this just to say that there should be a penalty for people who actively seek out videos where people are doing abusive things to each other, and doing it just for the sake of getting the likes and the attention and the follows. It should not be that um, that stuff is popular. It should be that stuff will get you in trouble, and that stuff will get your account taken down, and that stuff will get you removed from the social media platform that you posted it on. Um, that's the sort of thing they should be policing, not this other stuff that's just a power play between the person that runs the platform and everybody else. And if they're not going to do that, I can't take anything they do seriously. Um, so that was my thought for today. And I know that obviously, as I say every Monday, that's a little heavy to start your week out with, but I think it's important that we think about these things, and we think about what we're looking at during the course of our week, and what we're allowing ourselves to consume on social media. Because if we are seeing these things and we're laughing at them, or liking them, or supporting some of these crazy fads and trends that they're putting up there and thinking that it's somehow funny that someone is getting beat up, then I would suggest that maybe we need to go see somebody about that and get our heart right before we start doing more damage to people than we mean to do. It's not funny and it's not entertaining and it should not be condoned. So, yeah, I don't understand a society that, on one hand, can have all of these big initiatives against bullying and, the things that we single out as being hateful behavior, and then turn a blind eye to something that is blatantly hateful and just awful behavior. So, it just seems like we talk out both sides of our face, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good look. And I think that more people need to step up and say, this shouldn't be here. This is wrong, and you're glorifying this by allowing it to exist on your platform. So, and look for likes and things that are genuinely likable. Do things that are worth liking, and go for the organic um, popularity instead of what you have to manufacture or inflict harm on others to get. That's such a huge problem these days. So, and those who are trying to do good are lost underneath all of that and can't seem to make the impact they need to make because they have to fight through all of that type of content, um, just for someone to even notice that they're there, and it's really sad. So, um, as you go through your week, if you see things like that, please just take a moment. You took a moment to watch the video. You took a moment to read the post. Take a moment to report it. And maybe if enough people report these posts and say that they're harmful or abusive or whatever, maybe eventually there'll be a trend toward taking that sort of content down. And maybe if it's less popular, maybe it will stop happening, because what fun is it for people like that who need the attention to to do these things if no one is paying attention to them? Maybe they'll find something productive to do instead of just inflicting harm. See what you can do to be a part of the solution instead of the problem, and try to have a good week. Thanks for stopping in. God bless. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to check out our website and blog. The blog is at www.leading-the-follower.com. Thanks and God bless.